So the main characters in Fate Grand Order have these unofficial nicknames. Gudao for the guy, and Gudako for the girl. These names popped up in a gag manga preview by Keikenchi, and they basically come from the word Guda Guda, which means something like tiring or tedious. A nod to the craziness of Fate Guda Guda Order. They slapped a male, O, and female, Ko, ending on it, and boom, silly nicknames were born. Even though the manga ditched the names because they were supposed to be jokes, fans kept using them. Why? Well, because for like a year and a half, the official media didn't give the protagonists any proper names. Eventually, the male protagonist was called Fujimaru Ritsuka. But since the name is gender neutral, even the female version of the protagonist got called Ritsuka later on. But honestly, Gudao and Gudako were already too iconic to let go. You got all that? That's what we're doing today. Dive into some of the weirdest and funniest nicknames fans have given to the FGO characters. I'm not going to cover every single one, because let's be real, there are way too many. So I'll just go over my personal favorites. We've already talked about the Guda names for the protagonist, so let's move on to some other characters. Mash. Fans call her Mashamallow, a mashup, pun intended, of her name, Marshmallow, and her chest. Skathak even jokes about it during her trial quest, and Blackbeard has also thrown it out there a few times. But she's probably best known as Eggplant Kouhai, or just Eggplant, thanks to her armor color. This nickname blew up after a comic strip in Learning with Manga, where Gudako literally hangs Mash on a tree with a note on her face that says, Eggplant. Lev Lainor. Then we've got Speedwagon Alter for Lev Lainor, because let's face it, dude totally looks like Speedwagon with that hat. Until you realize he's evil. Kershtaria. After Olympus, Kershtaria picked up the nickname Brode, and I think it's fitting. His backstory shows that he's actually not on the foreign god's side. Instead, he's doing everything to protect humanity because he genuinely believes in us. This guy even sacrifices his life to save Chaldea. Bro status. Unlocked. And finally, there's Beryl, who gets called Markiplier by fans because, well, he kinda looks like him, but honestly, calling him Darkiplier might make even more sense considering the guy's vibes. Alright, moving on to the heroic spirits, where the nicknames get even wilder. The standout here has to be the three-letter names that fans have stuck on some of our faves. First up, Gilgamesh. The King of Heroes sometimes gets called AUO because his title in Japanese, AUO, sounds like AUO. It's short, snappy, and honestly kinda catchy. Fits the guy's vibe, I think. And let's not forget Ken-O, the nickname for Gilgamesh's caster form. It stands for Ken-O, which translates to Wise King or Sage King. Then we have Artoria's Lancer version. She's called CCO, which is read as Shishio or Lion King in Japanese. She's also been nicknamed Chichi-Yue, which is a Japanese word that can mean both dad and, breasts, or Lalter for her altar form. Fans also refer to both Lancer Artorias as Tituria or Upaitoria because Rungominiad blessed her with some extra features. Yeah, the fandom really knows how to have fun with names. Next up is Artoria's swimsuit archer version, and let me tell you, the fans really had fun with her. She's got the nickname Archeria, or Arcuria for obvious reasons, but also Squirtoria, because she's out here battling with a water pistol. Then we have Mordred, also known as Modred or Moson. It's because of her cutesy Moa speech pattern, especially when she's talking to her father. Sometimes fans just call her Morty or Morty, which I think is pretty adorable. Siegfried gets called Sumanai-kun, which basically means sorry-kun in Japanese, because, well, he says it a lot, especially since he wasn't exactly a top-tier servant before his strengthening quests. Poor guy's been apologizing all over the place. Then there's Fergus McBrock, or just Brock. Yeah, like from Pokemon. He's got that same eyes always shut look going on. Fun fact, they even referenced this in the 2023 April Fool's Fate Grail League baseball game, where Fergus strikes Brock's signature arms-crossed pose from the games. I think it's a pretty hilarious nod. For Benny Enma, she's known as the Burb Gordon Ramsay. Why? Because she's got that sharp-tongued chef vibe, running a literal Hell's Kitchen, and not hesitating to roast anyone who crosses her path in the cooking department. Now, we can't forget Saito Hajime and his nickname Virgil. His first ascension totally channels those Devil May Cry vibes with his Iaijutsu practitioner style and everything. Plus, he's voiced by the same VA as Nero, Virgil's son, so it just fits. Speaking of, Senji Muramasa also shares the Virgil nickname a bit, especially with his white-haired third ascension and rougher Iaijutsu style. His extra attack even mimics Virgil's heavy rain swords, so yeah, I think the nickname is pretty much locked in. Then there is Watanabe no Tsuna. Right after his reveal, fans started calling him Yu Narukami because of his similar hairstyle and hair color. They're both sword wielders, but Tsuna's got that fire element going on. He's also been called K-pop Saber because his hairstyle is giving off serious K-pop idol vibes. Amiya, Alter, Western fans nicknamed him Poochie or Father Poochie. Yeah, like from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Then there's Demiya, Detroit Miya, a nickname from Tamamo Camp during the CCC event. Moving on, we've got Ashwathama, aka Hot Wheels or Wheelman. I think the nickname pretty much explains itself. He fights with a giant wheel, and when you can set that thing on fire, well, Hot Wheels is just too good to pass up. Saint Martha comes in hot with two nicknames. One Punch Saint, thanks to her reputation for brutally taming Tarask, and Lewd Saint, because she can get a little too forward with her unsaintly comments. As for Mandricardo, fans simply call him Ricardo or Hachiman, and also My Friend, or the classic English version, My Furendo, after his wholesome interactions in Atlantis, where everyone just calls him My Friend. Now, Sasaki Kojiro has a couple of standout nicknames, like Savior of France and Regent, eh? Yes, that's not a typo. It's a mix of legend and a famous mistranslation, and honestly, it's legendary in its own right. Kama gets the adorable title of Gremlin or Nugget in her first ascension. She's tiny, chaotic, and thanks to Ryo's art, the gremlin energy is real. Cleopatra. She's called Super High School Level Pharaoh, a shout out to her Danganronpa style design, since the same illustrator worked on both. Then there's Hijikata Toshizo, lovingly known as Angry Mayo Man, because apparently there's another character out there also based on the real Hijikata Toshizo, and he is totally obsessed with mayonnaise, despite Hijikata's actual favorite food being taquan, pickled radish. Edmond Dante has some top-tier nicknames like Edgelord, Komaeda, because he looks like Nagito Komaeda from Danganronpa, and Dangan Dantes, due to his illustrator also working on Danganronpa. The ironic part? Komaeda is known for being born lucky, while Dante's luck stat is literally non-existent. Talk about opposites attracting. Now, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit that share icon, and drop a comment so I don't run out of ideas.